been a little bit, so let's go ahead and break ourselves down back to the next track here on Suede's debut album, which is going to be Breakdown. Imagine. I will admit, just because I have the track listing pulled up, I am really curious as to what the next song sounds like, which is Metal Mickey, because I cannot help but think of Disney just going absolutely heavy metal. Anyways, we're moving on to the next track, like I said, with Breakdown after the wonderful Sleeping Pills. Excited to dive back into this one. Let's go ahead and pull up the track. We'll talk about it after. Here we go. Chorus. There's a lot of little feelings of loneliness and isolation kind of scattered in here. Love that uptick in the chorus. Guitar has some pleasantness in the back too. Is that sax with the guitar? Sounds like it. It's an interesting, like, swirl of effects going on here. of textures going on here. Kind of a cool effect. Okay, Breakdown to me is a very it's a really interesting song when it comes to a production point of view. Whoever mixed and mastered and everything with, obviously the album as a whole, but this particular track did some really interesting things. And I don't know how to fully explain it because I'm not a music producer. I don't know anything about that, so I'm probably just speaking, out of turn in some ways. But the whole texture of this thing sounds really interesting, in which some of the guitar tones, which by the way, Butler is doing a lot of interesting things with the guitar. I don't know how to really tell you what he's doing, but there's a lot of interesting things playing with the feedback in the verse. There's kind of this, I don't know, dusty Western chords and melodies that's being played kind of sparingly. But in the background of that, there's like some little bits of pickup that are coming in and then coming fully during the actual chorus, which is really interesting how that's foreshadowed in the verse. So it's like these multiple overdubs or whatever he's doing. But then when it gets into the climax of this track, when everything is going full force, which there's even like a saxophone in there alongside the guitar, it almost sounds like it should be this big climax with full production, with like a lot of reverb, a lot of echo, a lot of power. But the way it's produced is actually very dry, to where it doesn't sound like there's as much of any of those enhancements as I would think or come to expect. And this isn't playing towards like a shoegaze kind of sound, even though you can clearly hear out that it could go in that direction. But like I said, it just sounds like it's mixed drier, and the instruments are a little bit more separated from each other than I guess what I would expect normally. And to me, what this creates is this feeling of isolation and loneliness, which I think the song clearly is alluding to in many, many ways, because as the music has been playing throughout this whole 6-minute track, there's a lot of loneliness to it. This breakdown that's in the song title, I'm imagining it's just a breakdown of life. Like you're just having a breakdown, you're losing it. And so in a sense, I feel like the instruments are breaking away from each other. So it's not mixed all together so cohesively. There's little bits of separation that kind of isolates all the instruments in a way that makes them not come together and coalesce in a way that you would expect, but still is very satisfying. Hopefully all that made sense. Let's look at these lyrics. Back where the dogs bark, where the still life bleeds the concrete white. Try not to go too far inside your mind. Back where the cards decide, where the lame star limps an endless mile, have I gone too far inside my mind? So this is like he's warning, like, don't go too far inside your mind. Don't overthink things. Don't go. There's a better term for it, but I can't think of what it is. But like, don't get so lost inside of yourself that you start to, like, it starts to become detrimental. It starts to become like a self. What's the word? Like you're self-reflecting, but to the point that you're overly critical of yourself. And, if you keep on looking into yourself in that way and in that respect, of course, it could lead to a breakdown of sorts. Oh, if you were the one, would I even notice? Now my mind has gone. Oh, if you were the one, would I even notice? Like, would you even know if you were losing it? Back when the car was parked, where the canine in the A-line stole your time, you can only go so far for womankind. He repeats the chorus, you can only go so far. Does your love only come? Does he only come in a Volvo? And then that's repeated. Well, this line and this line are like very specific. So he's probably talking about someone specific, but the song as a whole could definitely be applied just in a very general sense to many. So either way, great track. That's really interesting from a production side side point of view. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought. Comments down below. Follow me on Twitter. Support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. Come back tomorrow. And I'll see you all then. Bye.